You're listening to the 49 Carats Podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Podcast. I'm your host, Steph. It is Sunday, July 27th, or day 4 of 49ers training camp, as it happened just some hours ago. And it's back together weekend across the NFL. And so John Lynch spoke to the faithful in attendance before today's practice, just kind of pumping everyone up for the day and whatnot. But if you guys are interested, that's on my YouTube channel if you want to hear what he had to say. But today was exciting for other reasons as well if you're a 49er fan. For one, Brock Purdy was back at practice after missing Friday's session. And the big one today, Ricky Pearsall is back and activated from the PUP list. This is his first time practicing since, what was it, like before OTAs, right? So that's pretty big for him, back from that hamstring injury. He had been looking good even prior to that, right? He was doing his ramp-up period, making sure his conditioning was right. And to me, he looked good. So the 49ers went ahead and activated him. And he didn't seem to have a whole lot of limitations today. He did participate in team periods. He was taking some, plays off, right? So I think that's part of the ramp-up for him even still. But for the most part, he participated, and he even got himself a little touchdown during red zone periods. So the chemistry between Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall seemed to be right where it left off. He also worked on some punt return drills, so I think he's in the mix for that as well, just like he was last year. And so great news on Ricky Pearsall. Great to have him back. He's rocking the number 1 this year after having number 14 last year. 14 this year is Isaiah Nair, the rookie. And so Pearsall rocking the 1 after Debo left. It just adds to the aura of Ricky Pearsall. It was good to have him back out there. As far as players who didn't participate today, hear me? Oh, I'm back, but can you guys still hear me? Is the audio okay? Seems like my internet is not the greatest. Okay. I'm assuming you guys could hear me all right. Sorry about that little blip there. But as far as other players who had the day off today, thank you, Papa, in the comments. I'm good. Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, those are 3 veterans that had the day off. And, Kyle Shanahan said early on in training camp that there are going to be players who have either injury history or that are simply veterans or both, that are going to have their time managed and their practices managed in this year's training camp. So that's no surprise. It's something they do every year, but I think they're a little more cognizant of it this year, especially with guys like McCaffrey and Trent. They want to be extra careful with those guys. And, Bosa always earns himself a vet day here and there. So those guys didn't participate. Tomorrow is the first day of pads. So I'm expecting tomorrow to be a more intense practice. It'll probably go longer as well. And so those guys will be back. Everyone that's healthy will be on hand, I'm expecting, for that one. But let's continue on talking about some injuries here, because we did get some updates from Kyle Shanahan about some of these. So Jacob Cowing, 49ers wide receiver that suffered a hamstring injury last week, he is set to miss 3 weeks, according to Kyle Shanahan. So that's a bummer. But the 49ers did sign a couple of wide receivers last week as well, and those guys are still on the roster. They've still been practicing, so they're going to be the bodies that are holding down the fort until Jacob Cowing is back. Renaldo Green, 49ers cornerback, who started for the 49ers sometime last year, he will miss some time, but he is expected back around the same week as the 49ers Raiders preseason game. So that week of August 14th, I think that's the general timeline for Renaldo Green, according to Kyle Shanahan. And so after today's practice, The 49ers tried out 3 cornerbacks. I don't know who they were at this moment. Maybe that report is somewhere out there. I just haven't checked Twitter. So maybe we'll get those names in a bit. But as of right now, don't know who they are and don't know if the 49ers will end up signing one of those players, but we'll get that information as it comes. As far as injuries suffered from today's practice, so there was a really scary moment in today's practice during team period where it was the third string portion and defensive lineman Taron Jackson. We now know it was Taron Jackson because Kyle Shanahan told us, but when it happened, we had no idea who it was because we just see this player laying flat on his back, not moving at all. And you always know that's a bad sign. Teammates, whole team immediately went down on the knee. It was not a great scene for several minutes, and it was very tense, very scary. He was carted off on, the backboard, and, according to Kyle Shanahan, he was taken to the hospital to be further evaluated. But it sounds like, he was talking and he was moving his extremities. So that's a good sign. But yeah, hopefully everything is okay with Taron Jackson and we get some positive updates from him. But another injury that was suffered in today's practice was Jauan Jennings, who apparently suffered a calf injury. Now, he did also have a calf injury in OTAs, so that's something maybe we want to keep an eye on. It wasn't super serious in OTAs, but, if you re-aggravate something, we'll just have to see. So who knows? Maybe the 49ers will be forced to have to sign another wide receiver. Hey, I hear Keenan Allen is still available. Maybe that could be an option. But yeah, Jauan Jennings, something to keep an eye on. Yeah, I did notice he didn't participate in team period. I thought maybe it was just the team managing his reps. George Kittle, I'm pretty sure didn't participate in team period either. But, as far as I know, I think George Kittle's okay, and they were just managing his reps. But it sounds like for Jennings, there was something else to that, and he's got the calf injury. So we'll see if he participates or when he participates next. I can't assume that he will be there tomorrow. But yeah, it's a bummer to lose JJ after so many injuries to the wide receiver room already. It's just really, really bad luck. It's like a tornado of injuries going through the wide receiver room since training camp started, even before that. So it's just not a great sign, but hoping the best for, hoping everyone else stays healthy for one, and that it's a quick return for the rest of the guys. So we'll see. This is how it goes, though, in training camp. Some guys just start dropping like flies. All right, let's get to the meat of today's practice, and let's talk about the actual play. So I thought it was a pretty good, feel-good practice. Good energy all around. I have to say, on both sides of the ball, I thought there were some good plays. There wasn't one side of the ball that I thought was dominant over the other. I think both sides, had their positives. If I had to choose a unit of the day, I'll give a slight edge to the defense. And I'll tell you why. I think they're slowly stacking their days and quietly stacking their days. And I'm seeing a lot of involvement from the depth guys that, you would have never thought would make some waves. And not that they're making waves, but they're making plays. And that's important. It was definitely a team effort today from the defensive side of the ball. Right. For one, I think the run defense just continues to look good, which is a great sign to me. I think it was a point of emphasis for them to improve the run defense, and so far it has looked improved to me. So again, the pads aren't on yet, so take that for what it is. But I like the energy that they're playing with right now. It doesn't seem like much is getting past that first line of defense when it comes to the the run defense, which I think is a very great sign. Now, aside from that, there was a lot of activity as far as in the passing game with the DBs, right? A lot of pass breakups today. I'll go down the list of the ones I saw on 11 on 11. So there was a nice reaching pass breakup from Dallas Flowers, the cornerback, who they signed as a free agent this offseason. Depth guy, but hey, I mean, we'll take it, right? Then there was a pass breakup by Derek Canteen. That was against Mac Jones along the right sideline. That was during red zone period as well. And Mac Jones was 3 of 4 in red zone period. And so that was his only incompletion, actually, was a pass breakup by Derek Canteen on the right side of that end zone. And there was also a pass breakup by Jacob Robinson. This is I want to say it's like the second consecutive practice that I've seen Jacob Robinson make a nice play. So he's quietly stacking his days as well. He has shown some flashes. Very intrigued by the former BYU undrafted free agent corner. If you guys recall, I did get to interview him on my channel ahead of the draft. Great kid, really rooting for him. But if you guys want to check that out, it's on my channel. And another play from the defense that I think was the defensive play of the day, probably the pick six by Siren Neal. That was thrown by Tanner Mordecai, and that was the last play of practice. So nice way to end it for the defense, who I thought had a pretty solid day all in all. But like I said, the offense had some nice plays too. I mentioned Brock Purdy being 2 for 4 in red zone period. He started that off with a pass to Patrick Taylor along the right sideline, and Patrick Taylor, did the rest of the work and got in the end zone. And then Purdy to Pearsall, beautiful on a slant. The timing was there. Like it just looked like something they had worked on all off season. In a way, it's probably because they did. So I like to see that chemistry not miss any beat. Like Pearsall's first day back, and they're getting touchdowns in red zone period. That's what you want to see, right? So I'm really excited about the connection between those two, especially if Jennings does miss additional time, which, I think we could assume he'll at least miss 1 or 2 practices, right? I think this is Pearsall's chance to really get going, get his reps in, hopefully not too many reps where, he's in danger of re-aggravating something, but he's going to be a favorite target of Purdy. Like I already know, right? So it's good to see that connection. And we saw it during the red zone period today and other parts of practice as well. He got a couple catches in today's practice, which is always great to see. I saw Luke Farrell get his first catch today. I don't know if he had other catches in other practices, and this was the first one I actually noticed, but hey, that was good. Literally Friday, I was talking about Braden Willis getting a bunch of catches. And I was like, from the pass catching standpoint, I don't know. Is Braden Willis the pass catching TE2 and Luke Farrell the blocking TE2? I don't know. But Braden Willis was getting a lot of love on Friday. So it was nice to see Luke Farrell existed in the pass game today. Another guy that, of course, with the absence of Christian McCaffrey today, who got a lot of attention, was Guerendo. So he got a lot of opportunities. I think Guerendo looks pretty good. And the most important thing for him is health, of course. So talent's not a question with Guerendo. Speed's not a question with him. Can he stay healthy? That's the biggest thing. So we'll hope that continues throughout training camp. Also saw a couple nice plays from Bryce Huff. Like I said, when it comes to the run defense as well, I think Bryce Huff is going to be able to help in that department. There was one particular run play that I saw him get on an outside run stop, and that just made me excited. Like the 49ers struggled with that mightily out of their edges last year. So, I think Bryce Huff showing that could be a good addition for them there. Jordan Watkins had a couple of nice plays. Tanner Mordecai continues to struggle. I think the 49ers, like at this point, I'm not going to be surprised if it's just Brock Purdy and Mac Jones on the roster this year. That's what it's looking like to me. Maybe if the 49ers really like Mordecai long term, I don't know. Maybe they just keep him on the practice squad, but he is not making this 53 from what I've seen so far. Nice stuff from Sammy O today. Let's see. Upton Stout. I mentioned Upton Stout because he's someone that to me is quietly stacking his days because he's getting some first team reps. And I get it. Renardo Green didn't participate today, but even still, like, I don't think that has much to do with Upton Stout because Upton Stout's getting the nickel snaps with the first team. And that's big to me. Like, they want to get a good look at him, and he hasn't gotten burned or anything. The play to Luke Farrell was actually against Upton Stout's coverage, but I actually thought the coverage was really great. Purdy just made a really nice tight window throw to Farrell, but the coverage from Upton Stout was there. I've been saying I keep seeing him as a great run defender. That's what he did best in college. He just has such a great eye and instinct for the ball and where it is, working through traffic. He's really good at that. So Upton Stout, I think, could really make a name for himself in this defense. And so the fact that he's getting that opportunity with the first team, I think is really big. He's going to continue to hold on to that, I think, until he proves otherwise. I will say, like, I think D. Winters is getting more first team reps. I mean, he was already getting first team reps, but if you recall, there was Luke Gifford who was it was Fred and Gifford like the first day of training camp practice, and then I think as a third, D. Winters was coming in. Well, now it's Fred and D. Winters as the first two. So I think that's a good sign. Maybe the 49ers just wanted him to earn it a little bit. I don't know. But D. Winters, to me, has a stronghold of that second linebacker spot previously held by Dre Greenlaw. Let's talk about the DBs for a second. So as far as the starting safeties, I mean, it continues to be Jair Brown and Jason Pinnock. So, not much has changed there. Robert Saleh said it's an open competition for the safety spots. But I think right now it's those guys' jobs to lose to start the year. So they haven't looked bad. I've mentioned Jason Pinnock several times as, he's been stacking his days as well. A little quieter day today from him, but I think he's still got that spot. So let me get to some of your comments here. Oh, wait, before I do that, how dare I forget the kicking competition, right? This is as intense of a competition for a kicker that I've ever seen. And, I guess that's not saying much, right? It's kickers, but it's kind of like we traded the quarterback drama for kicker drama and the quarterback competitions for kicker competitions, right? That's the most exciting competition of camp, low key. So today they had the kickers come in after the red zone portion of team periods. Okay. So I think they were at like PAT distance for 3 kicks, and they were taking turns. As I've mentioned before, it was Joseph first, or it might have been Moody first, actually. Moody first, and then Greg Joseph, and then Moody, and then and so on and so forth. So at the PAT distance, they went 3 for 3, both of them. All right. And then they took them a little bit further to, I think someone said it was 54 yards. So plus 50. All right. Which is a difficult spot for Jake Moody, typically. So they only had 1 attempt then. Joseph was 1. He was successful in that attempt. Moody missed that one for 50 plus yards. So after the bad practice of Friday, or the practice for those guys that Brant Boyer, 49ers new special teams coach, wasn't very happy with, Both Joseph and Moody did better today, but I think today went to Greg Joseph, the edge by 1 on the 54-yarder. And that's big. Like, to me, it's like you're going to be in those situations where your team has to kick a long field goal, and you need to have a kicker that you're confident can make them. So that's where Moody has struggled with quite a bit. And, we'll continue to see how this competition plays out. I don't think Joseph has done enough to, like, really run away with it. But I also think Moody's just on such a short leash. Like, any mistake is just not going to do him any favors, obviously. So you hope to see that one of them makes that strong, undeniable push to be that guy. Now, I'm just not sure I've seen it yet from either of them. So I'm sure that's what Brent Boyer is struggling with as well. But like I said before, it is only day 4 of 49ers training camp. There's way more evaluation to come from that side. So let's see here. Let me get to some of these comments. Appreciate all of you. Make sure you like this video if you haven't yet. Man, you guys have kept it popping. Appreciate you guys. Oh, I told my niece I was going to give her a shout out. So shout out to my nieces, Olivia, Samantha, and Malia. Shout out you guys. They better be watching. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, JJ. Big blow for the wide receiver room, man. Seriously. Juwan Jennings, Jacob Cowing. You already without Brandon Ayuk. You just got Ricky Pearsall back. Yeah. He could possibly be a PUP candidate, depending on how long he's going to be out. Jacob Cowing, for being out 3 weeks, like, I'm surprised he hasn't landed on PUP yet. Right? I don't know. Yeah, pads coming on tomorrow. That's going to be electric. I really can't wait. I think what I see from this team so far, while it hasn't been like super, super high energy, like what season was that? Was it the 2023 season after they lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game? I felt like after that, like there was a high energy from the team, and they were just like ready, right? This is a different type of energy, but it's one of like hunger. Like I see these guys really looking forward to competing. I think there's a lot of healthy competition happening. I get some good vibes. Benali says, when the secondary has a good day, I wonder if it's because they're thin at wide receiver. And when the passing offense has a good day, I wonder if it's because they're thin at corner. Trust nothing. This is I mean, when it comes to training camp, it's the one thing I hate, right? It's like you can't be too excited about one unit having such a dominant day over the other without worrying about the side of the ball that got dominated, like, because we're fans of the team, it's like, it's just, it feels like a conflict of interest to root for when that just means one side of the ball maybe didn't look great that day. But that's why I said, like, as far as today goes, I think both sides of the ball had some good plays. Like, and I don't think the defense was dominant today. They had good plays where I wanted to give them the edge because of the pass breakups. But yeah, it wasn't like a dominant performance to the point that I'm like worried about the offense. As far as the corners, yes, I think there might be something to that. Like, corners getting a lot of pass breakups today because they're thin at wide receiver, very much could be. Sidebar, I did see this awesome moment with Brock Purdy going up to Demarcus Robinson, who the 49ers just signed this offseason, right? So, like, they haven't spent too much time together. But they have shown some good chemistry here and there so far throughout camp. So I saw Brock Purdy go up to him, and you could tell he's like, I don't want to say coaching him up on something, but he's walking through a play with him together. Like I could just tell they're talking about a play, something that he saw maybe that Robinson didn't do, or maybe something he liked. I don't know. I don't know the exact context, but I thought it was cool to see Brock go up to a veteran like Demarcus Robinson, who just joined the team, who, I think they've already started building a connection with each other. And that just shows the growth of Brock Purdy, right? And the level of maturity that he's reached at his now, what is this, like his fourth season? So yeah, it's good to see Brock Purdy, taking that command and making sure that he's on the same page with his guys and his guys are on the same page as him. That's really what that conversation looked like it was about, like just making sure they're on the same page about something. So love to see that from Brock. It feels like bare minimum things, but I don't know. You be surprised. So it's just QB1 behavior. Rob says, I was hoping Cowing would be the guy to replace Debo in the sweeps and end arounds. I think I saw Jordan Watkins. I couldn't confirm if it was a sweep. I definitely don't think it was an end around. But it was a very Debo-esque play that Jordan Watkins had today. And then the other day, on Friday, when I saw that play that Mac Jones was lead blocking, which was funny, that I think it was Junior Bergen. So, like, those are my two players that I would say for the – I don't want to say they'll take the Debo role, but they'll get some Debo plays. I think Pearsall can also get some Debo plays. Like, I think the Debo role is going to be kind of spread out between a few guys who, are just very agile and can make guys miss. And so we'll probably see different guys at different points. But I agree with you, Rob. I think Cowing definitely could have been one of those guys. I mean, he definitely has a speed. His size, I think, will make it so he makes guys miss because he's small. He could probably, juke guys out of their cleats, I'm sure. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait to see that a little bit more. And it sucks because we were hearing so much about his offseason and his connection with Brock Purdy, all the work that they did with Pearsall this offseason, and we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer to see what that actually looks like on the field in real practice or game action. Kawachipto says, I think the secondary is better than most fans think. I know you do. I know you think that. I think the starting safeties are fine. Like I do think Jair Brown so far hasn't looked terrible to me. Like he's not getting burned or anything like that. I think he'll be fine. I think Jason Pinnock, like I said, has looked pretty solid. And when Mustafa comes back, I'll feel even better. So, yeah, as far as that goes, you're good. Ronaldo Green hurt right now, so this will get us a good opportunity to look at that cornerback depth, which I've been skeptical about, as I should be. Like, the names on the CB depth chart aren't very convincing to me. And I don't feel like I've seen nearly enough, if anything at all, from Darrell Luter. Like, Darrell Luter looks like someone right now, July 27th, there's still a lot of training camp to go. But July 27th, I don't know if Darrell Luter makes this team. I really don't. I haven't seen him do anything that would have me change my mind about that. And this is the year where he has to show it. So it's not like Robert Saleh has any allegiance to Darrell Luter. He didn't draft him. So I guess we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, there's a couple of corners that I think, they're making some plays here and there. So could see who comes out of that competition Yeah, the wide receiver room, definitely similar situation as the corners, like very weak. A lot of bodies, not nearly enough guys who you can depend on, I think, to be anything like you maybe need them to be. Like I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. Okay. Yeah, Ross Dwelly. Ross Dwelly made a catch or two today. What I remember. The Ross man is back. I'm glad to have him back. I'm glad to have him back. I like the tight end room. I like the tight end room this year. It looks pretty solid. Not gonna lie. What I was nervous about was Braden Willis. I'm like, yo, Braden, like I hadn't seen much before from him. I still want to see, like, as a blocker, can he be more consistent? Can he avoid, penalties? More so on like the special team side. I think he was the culprit of a few penalties last year. And that's with him not getting that much playing time in general. But yeah, I just want to see, can he improve on that? Can he add value in other ways? Like, will we see him more as a pass catcher? Like I said earlier, I like what I've seen from him as a pass catcher so far throughout camp. So, yeah, I'm hoping that someone out of that tight end room can step up at times besides George Kittle, So we'll see. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to Jordan James today, but throughout camp, like he's looked great. Like he looks like the RB3, and I think no one's moving him off that spot from as far as I can see right now. Again, it's July 27th, a lot of time, but he runs with a lot of like command. Like I don't know how to explain it, but when he has the ball in his hands, you're watching closely because he just kind of demands that, and demands respect. He just runs with a lot of command, energy, and I like that. I think he's a well-rounded back, the perfect RB3, I think, for this team. And like I said, I believe I said this in my last show. I was like, I think those three guys, CMC, Garendo, James, they all give you something a little bit different that like the others don't have. Like, but they're all good pass catchers, good in the outside zone. Those are things that are like baseline important things for this offense, right? If you're going to be a running back on this team, pass catcher, outside zone, pass protection is a plus, right? That's a plus. But yeah, I think all those three guys have that. And Jordan James looks pretty good as a pass catcher. Yeah, he does. So it's those three guys for me. He looks good. I think at different times, maybe we see each of those guys this season just because, including Jordan James, like Isaac Garendo, obviously, but I think Jordan James could get mixed in too and find himself a little role in the offense this year. Just based off of the fact that I think there's some things he does that, other guys don't do as well. Incredible contact balance, can make guys miss, run through traffic. I think he could be like a short yardage back, right? Give you a little juice. Don't dwell on Dwelly. Exactly. Hate this comment, but it's true. Benali says, hey, the last time a poor prospect QB3 looked bad at training camp, they now pay him $265 million. So true. So true. I mean, man, Brock Purdy was not good in training camp that year. He was not good. But, we hear about the context all the time. We don't know the context. What we did hear about Brock a lot is that he was aggressive. He tried things. They appreciated that, And obviously, having known him and seen him face to face, now that we know what he's like, yeah, I could see why they would have kind of liked him and gravitated to him. I don't know what Tanner Mordecai brings. Maybe he brings something similar. If he makes his way to the practice squad, we'll know maybe he's got a little something special to him. But yeah, Purdy, an outlier for sure. Rob says, fact or fiction? Niners claim a QB3 when roster cuts are made. I mean, I'd be comfortable if they didn't. If they did, I don't think it's a clue as to how they feel about 1 and 2. I think it would be a clue of how they felt in the past and how they've gotten burned of not having, that third quarterback, just those extreme edge cases. But I think they could go into this season with just 2 quarterbacks. I think so. And I feel better about QB2 than I did even last year. It wasn't a Sam Darnold truther. Stout is looking stout. Team Moody. Are you guys Team Moody or Team Greg Joseph? Another thing that I was talking to Raj about this, I was like, it's not just about the field goals either. It's like, what about kickoffs? I mean, you got to be sure that the kicker that you choose is also pretty good at kickoffs. Like right now, the competition between the kickers in terms of field goals is like it's so close that maybe it's kickoffs that's like the tiebreaker. I don't know. I haven't paid enough attention to the kickoffs in training camp. As you can imagine, I'm just not clamoring to watch that. But do training camp kicker stats matter? Whew, if they ever did. We're in the thick of it. Okay, so Papa Jay's asking, now that Cowan is not at practice, who's returning kickoffs? So I saw, and this doesn't mean it's just these 2 guys, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. I just kind of saw it at a glance. I saw Ricky Pearsall and I saw Jordan Watkins. It might have just been those 2, but I think Junior Bergen as well is in that mix. So probably those 3 guys that I've seen today, that I saw today. And so I think all the other days before Pearsall was back, it was Watkins, it was Bergen. So Bergen, in his case, like that's literally what they kind of drafted him for, right? That upside that he has as a return man. So of course he's going to get some looks there as well. So yeah, those guys are in the mix for it for sure. Shanahan didn't sound super concerned about Jennings, potentially precautionary given his contract status. Well, I did see on the Bird app on Twitter that seems like the 49ers are moving towards a deal with Juwan Jennings down the rumor mill. So that would be a good sign from Shane Stern, who posted that. He said, quote, Jennings 49ers are finalizing a 2-year extension, bringing his total AAV just north of $13 million per year with the new guaranteed money. I'd be happy with a 2-year extension. We'll see if that plays out, but he's gotten things right before, so I'm trusting Shane on this one. Okay. Yeah, Nair. Okay, going back to the Debo role or Debo play discussion, Nair could probably definitely get some of that as well. Benali says, everyone keeps trying to make Nair a thing. I remain unconvinced. He's flashed. It's not like an everyday thing. He has flashed. Like the day where he made that catch, that was a big memorable play. But like that's all it was. Like it was a flash play. Haven't seen too much. besides that. But like, I think he's intriguing. He's intriguing to me. He's got speed. He's got great size. They definitely have to keep him around. Definitely have to keep him around. I don't know if it's on the 53. They're gonna maybe have a tough decision to make there. But they gotta find a way, man. They got to. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if around roster cut time, assuming he keeps on this trajectory, if around roster cut time he has like a quote unquote phantom injury before roster cuts, you'll know. You'll know they like him a lot because they're not going to subject him to waivers. So, I mean, honestly, I hope they do that rather than, I just realized my headphones weren't plugged in. Just realized my headphones weren't plugged in this whole time. 40 minutes I've been on this show. You guys, this audio is probably awful. I'm so sorry. Awful. Why am I wearing these? Oh my God. I'm so pissed. Sorry, guys. Okay. Nair, yeah, we got to see more of him. Luter, yeah, has been disappointing. I'm the Upton Stout train, Callie. I am. Patrick Taylor, is he going to make the team? I'd put him on the practice squad. I mean, if they keep 4, he can make the team, which, they typically do, I want to say. They usually keep 4 and then Kyle Juszczyk. So, yeah, I think Patrick Taylor does have a chance there. But my top 3, obviously, McCaffrey, Garendo, then Jordan James. So, they already cut Israel Abanikanda. So I think Patrick Taylor maybe makes the roster. And then you got Corey Kiner, who probably makes, what's it called? Practice squad. So, yeah, I like the running back room. All right, y'all. I've been on here for 42 minutes and I didn't have my headphones on, so I'm like ready to call it. You guys are great, though. You didn't even notice. Well, I'd notice because the audio is great. Okay, great. Like, if it sounds good to you guys, that's good. But hopefully, like the audio listeners, hopefully you guys don't notice. So sorry. But no, I don't think Kiner makes the 53 as of right now. I think just as far as the pecking order goes, Kiner hasn't like opened any eyes to make the 53. I think he makes the practice squad. Yeah. Yeah, we can know for sure that the running back depth is great right now. I feel good about the running backs. Really good. In the top 3, I feel really good about. So those will definitely be making the roster for me. All right, y'all. Well, sorry about the audio thing, even though you guys didn't even notice. You guys are awesome. But make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Audio listeners, leave a rating, leave a review. Monday, tomorrow, first day of pads. So I'll definitely be doing a live, but I'll be doing it a little bit later. My regular time with Weston, a little later in the day, all right? So bear with me, but I will probably try to post a quick recap before then. So make sure you guys keep it locked. Keep that notification bell on. Follow me on all socials at Steph49K to see what other things I'm posting elsewhere. But appreciate all of you. Have a good rest of your Sunday, folks. For now, peace.